Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the Appalachian Alliance. We are stuck in the house. It's raining.
Shelter day.
And, of course, Mr. Church is here. He's semi-conscious. He had a challenging night.
Yeah.
And I get it, man. Those, kids and family and things.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
Yeah. I can relate for sure. I had one of those last night.
Yeah.
Not last night, but the night before last, right?
It's full moon, man. It's full moon. Let's not even go there.
You had to remind me.
Yeah, it is. It's full moon.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
It is Icarus time.
Yeah.
Episode 12 of Survivor 48.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, right off the bat, Eva says, I really like our position in this game. I feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
And usually when that happens, that's
stuff's about to go down.
That's the death knell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. When you say you're comfortable.
Yeah. In the game of Survivor,
you're screwed.
Yeah, right. You definitely
yourself.
You definitely are screwed.
Yeah.
And
so if we're ever playing,
right. I'm never saying it.
Don't say it.
I don't care because I'm sure the producers are like, "How do you feel in the game right now?"
Oh, I feel amazing.
Right.
Man.
Oh, I'm on top of it. I'm running this game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win.
While you're
Survivor
bragging,
48.
While you're bragging on camera, everybody who's off camera is like, "Oh, well, let's just get him out."
Yeah. Tom's next.
Yep.
He doesn't know it yet, but you know.
But Eva does brag and say they're really in a good spot.
Which I thought, that it's over for Eva.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, either Eva or Joe's going today.
Yeah.
But now they're talking to Mitch on the beach the next morning, and Kyle talks to him about making a move
on Joe
again.
Yeah. Yeah. How many times are we gonna?
How many times? This is leading up to the finale here.
7. Yeah.
So.
For at least 7 episodes, we have been begging for some strategy, and now we finally get a glimpse of it in this episode.
It's true. And we finally did get a little bit of a glimpse of a hope of some strategy, right? So day 22, they get some tree mail, and it says something about fighting for a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
And we all know what that means.
Sanctuary.
You're headed to the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Now, Shaheen is like, I'm going to have to hold something up for a long time. And he said, I have these museum quality legs.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to use them yet. So I was like, this will probably be the
leg challenge.
The leg challenge.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, right?
No.
Now, Shaheen says, I know that Joe isn't playing the best game because I'm playing the best game.
Oh?
Arguably so up until this point.
Kyle and Camille are playing the best game.
Oh, for sure. He didn't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think I saw a blurb from somebody that said that in his exit interview, he didn't say that he had an inkling that Kyle and Camilla were had some sort of alliance, and he said that he had an alliance with Camilla.
He did.
So but that you don't really see a whole lot of that. Maybe a couple of episodes back you saw him talking, but
we picked her first too for a challenge, and that was kind of an inkling of they're doing something together.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we get to the challenge.
Let's go to the
sanctuary.
challenge now. It's wind and rain.
Yeah.
On the water, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought, okay, here comes the Snoopy doghouse challenge.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Jeff and the wind and the rain, I thought Snoopy Doghouse Challenge. They're gonna have to stand on
the planks. On
the Snoopy Doghouse and try to balance, right?
Yeah. See, I was thinking it was the one where they brace their legs on the things, like they give him the little footholds, and you got to put your legs on it, and you got to brace yourself.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and you just got to stay like that. I thought that's what it was going to be.
Right, but when they went out to the sea, I thought, okay, this has got to be the doghouse deal, right?
Or I also thought like under the tide thing.
Yeah, that could have been that one.
Yeah,
and Jeff looks around and he says, "Okay, let's play Survivor."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Yes, go, let's go, Jeff." Yeah. Now it's a reward challenge. You head out to the sanctuary and burgers, fries, beer, wine, soft drinks, cheesecake, yada yada. Spend the night,
sleep,
and letters from home.
Yeah.
Which is the number one thing.
Yeah, that is. I'm gonna say I miss the loved one visit. I understand why they don't do it anymore because it probably costs them a lot of money, and I understand that.
Absolutely,
but God, I miss the loved one visit, man.
Yeah, I mean,
letters is one thing, but like.
See
the loved
them,
one visit, like that's something you even talk about as a fan. Like, oh, if I ever get on, I'm gonna have this,
right.
Like, you gonna have your person there,
and it's waterworks every time.
Yeah,
I tear up, and I have a cold, dead heart.
I tell you this, man. Well, after I became a father, I started tearing up.
Yeah, you understand.
But Letters from Home is on the line, and it's a game where they have to. It's kind of similar to the one I talked about earlier, but they have pegs for their hands, and they like
they're
at first
slant.
They're on a slant, and their legs have to be a certain way,
right,
bent up, and you have to hold yourself with your hands. You can't use your legs.
Yeah, right.
Which is the whole joke because Shaheen's bragging about his legs, and then it's a challenge where you can't use your legs.
Yeah, his museum quality legs. And of course, Shaheen says, "Well, I have a ganglion cyst on my wrist."
Yeah.
So he's already at a disadvantage, and he's in pain. Must not have hurt too bad.
Yeah, because he pulls through, man.
Yeah, I mean, Camilla looks good for a long time.
Yeah.
Looks like she's asleep. Jeff even comments,
"Are you awake?"
Yeah, are you awake? And I think she was just trying to put herself in a different place, right?
Yeah.
I think when you're in a
dreamscaping. Yeah, that's you're not
exactly
there now. You're at home or you're at your favorite place.
Right. You're in your happy place.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore goes to his happy place. And
that,
Camilla was in her happy place, I do believe.
I can hear the music now.
Yeah. And then Shooter McGavin shows up.
In a Gene Simmons mask.
And maybe it's Joe, right? Joe shows up in his fireman uniform, and with a fire extinguisher. Anyway,
but Shaheen wins.
Shaheen wins. Eva used her feet.
She did. She got kicked.
And she got kicked to the curb. And people were saying that maybe Joe quit in protest because he drops immediately after that. I don't know. Shaheen wins. He's got the those museum quality legs, so he had the fantastic dismount off of there.
Back to Joe, it's not an immunity challenge.
I mean, it's true.
So Joe's like,
it's true.
I gotta save,
that now that I hadn't thought of that, but that's possible.
That's what I thought.
And he thought,
when Joe felt like, we're okay.
Yeah. Well, he probably thought, Shaheen's gonna pick me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And he did. He wasn't first, but anyway.
Yeah.
Now, Shaheen with the great dismount. He's got to choose. Of course, it's Joe.
Yeah.
And Kyle.
Let's feed the two strongest guys.
Yeah, and take them to the sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a horrible pick on Shaheen. Shaheen's playing with his heart instead of his head.
There he was anyway.
Yeah. And I think he's been doing it the whole game. He wants to be this analytical, cutthroat player, but he's in an emotionally invested alliance, so you can't really do that. So like they say, they become your best friends out there, and there's only like 5 of them, right? Yeah,
so
we see that with Kyle, too. Kyle's, walking the line a little bit.
Yeah, and So
we get to the sanctuary.
Yeah, now you get to the sanctuary, and Shaheen has this comment: "If I hadn't have won this, I would have turned into Liz so quick." And he says, "I'm pissed."
Yeah.
So do you remember that?
Yes.
I mean, you got to remember Liz and her.
I'm so pissed.
I'm pissed. Yeah. Shaheen's in Survivor euphoria right now. Joe's son, believe in yourself, Dad.
Yeah, it's a good letter.
Yeah.
That was a good letter.
Kyle's dad tells him he will be proud of him for the rest of his life. And the other two kind of break down because their dads aren't around.
Yeah.
Right?
I could relate. Well, we could both relate to that one.
Right. Yeah. I lost my mother when I was about 19. So,
I lost my dad when I was 7, and it's rough. And to see that, now I'm a father, and to see that, the dad in me's rooting for Joe, but the Survivor fan in me's just like, guys, don't. Yeah. Why do you feed the strongest person right before an immunity challenge and give him a night's sleep and give him letters from home, give him more motivation?
And then, he gets letters from home, and Joe goes into how his sister right before she was lost to domestic violence.
Yeah,
and they didn't tell each other they loved each other before getting off the phone. They had an argument.
Yeah,
and so I have to think that not only did the food help, but the fact that he was reminded of his sister. Yeah. And he went out and had some kind of closure. Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
he had a conversation with her on the beach.
And that's new for Survivor. Like, we haven't seen that to that extent.
We haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It seemed like this was Joe's episode there for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
And I could relate to that, man. My mom and Dad were arguing when Dad left for work that morning, and he never came home, and they were arguing, man. And I know to this day that haunts my mother. So I haven't lived that, but I've been around it, and for Joe to carry that guilt, that's a heavy burden, man.
Well, I relate. I had talked to my brother before he passed. And I believe we said we loved each other, if I can remember correctly. But the last time I actually saw him, I stayed at his house, and I got up before he was up, and because we hadn't slept, we were on an air mattress. My then girlfriend, Lindsay, we were on an air mattress, and Lindsay had to work. And she was like, "Can we go so I can take a nap before work?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he took offense to that I left, and he was going to make breakfast or whatever, and and I've always thought, man, I wish I could have done that differently. And
that's black hole thinking, though, man, because you can't do that what if stuff,
right? Yeah.
And they do that on Survivor as well. Sure. What if I'd have played differently? What if I'd have done this? I couldn't imagine.
Oh, the second guessing. Yeah. You got to come home and be like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And then you watch back, what happened, and you hear what people say about what you did. Yeah. And you're like, well, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Yeah. But yeah,
so leading up
Mitch
to
Mitch and Camilla both are like, why would you feed the most competitive person here?
Yeah.
If Joe wins immunity, then Shaheen has sealed his fate,
which is true, man.
And Camilla called it.
Yes, she did.
She called it.
I mean, how dumb to leave? And let's talk strategy here. Shaheen leaves Eva,
right?
Who, again, has admitted she's not great with social cues.
Right.
That's not who you leave to babysit the people who's going to vote you out. You know what I mean? Like, that was my thing. Like, as soon as Shaheen won, my wife was like, oh, Eva's going to eat again. Yeah. Because she's been on almost every reward and stuff. And Eva just sits on the beach, waiting for him to get home, like a lost puppy. Yeah,
the boys went off to town and left me with the parents who want to watch the news.
Yeah. Here comes Star. Her enemies are plotting. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, Shaheen's talking to Kyle, and they're like, we're sitting in the middle. We're in a good position.
Yeah.
But Kyle is like, hey, I remember that you went through my bag.
Yeah.
And then you lied about it.
Yeah.
And I think that came back to haunt him.
Yeah.
Right? Because Kyle, had he taken that offer and went with Shaheen to do something, right, then Shaheen would still be there.
Yep.
And so,
Yep. Shaheen, this is a good example of how early gameplay can screw you over later in the game.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you deliberately go through someone's bag, they're going to remember it, and they're going to just wait.
Yeah.
If they're a good player like Kyle is, he is just waiting, like the serpent, just waiting.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to use him until he doesn't need him, and he's like, listen.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, but doesn't Shaheen kind of talk strategy with Kyle about getting rid of Joe or something like that? Or
he talks about getting Eva.
That's what it was.
He said we should take Eva next.
Yep.
Because
can't let them both go.
You can't let them both go. It has to be a blind side. He says, but Kyle's like, I'm going to paint a target on Shaheen at this point.
Yep.
And Kyle connects with Camilla. They're going to tell Joe and Eva that Shaheen has turned on him, which he has.
Yeah. And he has an idol.
And that he has an idol. Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I love how Kyle just walks up to Joe casually. He's like, listen, don't freak out.
Right.
Shaheen's flipped.
Yeah.
He's got an idol.
Yeah.
He's putting y'all out. And Joe's just like, I need a minute. Like, my brain is not.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's a lot to process.
It is. Right. And he just
and Joe just ate, so he's burning calories and stuff again, but still it's just that mentality of like, shit, 3 things I have to. Okay, so he's flipped, he's got an idol, and now he's after and he's never told me about this idol. We've been working day one, and
Yeah.
Perfect gameplay by Kyle and Camilla again. Like,
yeah. So we go to the immunity challenge. This is a combination of a couple of things.
Wow,
and
weird.
The end of it, I've seen there where they had to kind of use something to go through a maze, but they did the snake, right? Which is generally the you pull the deal,
arms.
Right?
They've done the snake on this one too.
Yeah.
They have.
And
it seems like you're drawing with it, like you got to glide it on the wood, and of course Joe wins it. And, no surprise, by the way. Like, he smokes them.
Yeah. And he says, that's for you, JoJo, which I'm sure is his sister.
That's the letter. Yeah. Well,
that's the letter and the trip. And he's thinking about his sister. He's, that gives him extra motivation.
Yep, exactly.
So they fed him both mind, body, and soul, as Shaheen says, that's what they were there to do at the sanctuary. And it sure helped Joe out.
Oh, it did.
And Joe comes back and he says, "You're a great friend, Shaheen."
And this is Joe's 4th individual, fifth. So he's in the
5 club.
He's in the 5 club.
I think somebody has won 6. I think that's what's the guy's name? Ozzy. Ozzy won 6 in one of those seasons.
Yeah.
The multiple seasons he was in.
Yeah.
If I may be wrong.
Well, the winner from the tribe that had America as their name, he won a lot too because he had to. That's how he got to the end. He just kept winning each end.
Yeah.
Was that David? I forget his name. Sorry, buddy. Love you playing. Or Mike
Ben.
Or Ben.
Wasn't it Ben? No, Ben kept winning and kept going and finding idols. That's how he.
Ben,
but he won a few. But
he's the idol hound dog.
Right.
But anyway,
so now.
So Joe wins immunity.
Yeah.
And we get back to camp.
Yeah.
And then Kyle drops the bomb.
Right. And Joe goes to Eva. They're trying to break it down. Joe's reading Kyle at this point. He says, I'm reading him to try to see body language, eye contact, all of that. And he doesn't really get a read on Kyle. Now, Eva says that she believes Kyle, which,
Yeah.
Camilla then tells Joe the lie, and she said, I'm going to run him over the bus. I'm going to back up, and I'm going to run back over him again. And what was funny is a palm frond almost fell and hit her while she was telling this lie, which was,
that's divine intervention.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. So, Joe does the dad mode deal and is like, is there anything else at play here?
Yeah.
Should I know
he says,
anything?
I need to look at who's telling me this.
Yeah.
Why they're telling me this.
Yeah.
And I think, are they lying to me?
Right. Why would they be lying?
Because even at Tribal, we see Joe, like, it zooms in on Joe, and it even lowers the volume of them speaking because it shows Joe just staring them down, trying to get a read on who is lying to me.
Right. Yeah. Dad mode. He went into the like, hey, are you feeding me a lie here?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look and make sure. And
he's like, I smell bullshit. I just gotta find it.
Yeah. And Shaheen says, I was put on timeout. Because and he doesn't understand why. Yeah, because he's done nothing.
He says you're acting like I shit in your pancakes.
Yeah, so,
buddy, that's a new one on me. That must be a city.
I think
thing,
I think
right then he should have known.
Pissed in your Cheerios.
Yeah, pissed in your Cheerios.
That's generally
what we say around here.
Around here, we say,
would never shit on somebody's pancakes.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of animal is that?
Yeah. Rat.
Shaheen
should have known right then.
He should have known,
bro. Why are you freaking? He should have known.
They should have.
Spidey sense should have been tingling. Like, why is my number one freaking out?
He should have put votes on Eva. Everybody should have voted Eva.
Yeah, they should have.
And that would have taken the sales out of Joe, or it would have fired him up and maybe not stopped him here in the finale. But
well, when you don't have that person that you can go to and lay all your burdens on in the game,
and that's who
such
she
a
is.
mental crutch if you don't have that,
right?
And Shaheen this is clearly a blindside. Yeah,
complete blindside. The votes are Mitch, Shaheen, Mitch, Shaheen.
Yeah,
and I went, wow.
Yeah.
And he said, if not one of you gets up to hug me, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's good game.
Because he's like, I love you guys, and I don't know what happened, but, it is what it is. You got me. And the best part of it, though, as he's leaving down the ramp, ooh waka, Simio waka, and of course, he gets a rousing, laughter from the
cracks up to that. But,
right.
But now we get to after the sneak peek. You see that I think Camilla voted for Mitch.
Yeah,
and that's interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, why?
See, that I think they're doing that. That's a mind game.
Deception.
Yeah, because now we have Joe and Eva,
right?
Kyle and Camilla.
Yeah.
And who's in the middle?
Mitch.
Right. Okay. So, why? So Camilla's going to lie.
Camilla and Kyle say, hey, we voted Shaheen, bud. I don't know what happened there.
They voted for you, buddy. Yeah, that's why she did that, man.
Dude, she's good.
See, that's one thing. My wife has to see who voted for who.
Right.
Let's break this down. And Camilla votes Mitch. She does not vote Shaheen.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And we talked about that, and she's like, that's why she did it, honey, so she can't lie. She cannot lie to Kyle, for one.
Right.
I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's a little deception.
Oh yeah,
that's to get Mitch paranoid and come to them. Man, that's smart. That's good gameplay.
She's so good.
Yeah.
And listen, the quote, and this is the standout moment from the promo, because the rest of it's just slow motion B-roll. Yeah. Oh, it's the finale of season 48. But Camilla's quote, she's talking to Kyle, and she says, "My best shot is if we're not sitting next to each other."
Yep.
And so
it's about to go down.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it.
It better be an epic finale.
Yeah.
With some blindsides and some fireworks.
Yeah, let's get to
because it's been underwhelming. It's been a
slow burn. Yes. Yeah.
And hopefully
great season. Horrible gameplay.
Right. It's been entertaining. I've been entertained.
It has.
Yeah. Let's hope for some.
I'm looking forward to seeing some of these players come back. I'll tell you that now. This is the season they will cherry pick a lot of players.
I think so too.
Because if they do a returning players type thing.
Right.
You know, you could
they
easily,
haven't done that in a long,
no, they have not,
long
and
time.
That's what my wife's waiting on. She loves seasons where it's returning players.
Yeah, because they're players that you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
you don't have to learn. You know.
You don't have to learn everybody's name.
Yeah, but you could easily see Shaheen or Star coming back, or Mary, or Say.
I think will absolutely come back because they used her confessionals
way too much,
incessantly.
Yeah,
right. I mean, they were everywhere. She has more confessionals than people that are in the game right now.
Wow,
I saw that graphic.
That is crazy.
So anyway. I think that's about it.
That's about it.
And we've got the finale coming up next Wednesday.
Yep.
And I don't know. Maybe we'll try to go live or something the day of and try to take some questions and talk to some folks over there on TikTok. Right?
Yeah, it'd be cool.
That's what I had in mind. Maybe if we can do that, like Wednesday midday sometime. So tune into the TikTok, the Appalachian Alliance TikTok. And,
that's a great idea.
Me and Mitchell Church will chop it up with y'all, and because we're getting some momentum over there on TikTok.
Yeah.
Thanks
to
crickets,
this guy.
It's crickets mostly everywhere else. Some YouTube, YouTube short video views, but that's about it. Anyway, the holler has spoken, y'all.
Yeah. God bless you. We love you. God bless you.